All right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Hope you guys are doing well. It is December 16th, 2018, and I wasn't gonna make a video today, just because my head started hurting and I was literally not into talking. But I took a quick nap and my head feels a lot better, so I powered through that. So all good now, or at least a little bit better. So getting a video out there for you guys tonight. Okay, so it is December 16, 2018. This is Eyes Open Media. And like the video, subscribe, and share. And thank you guys for watching the videos. Okay, so let's get started here. Says deputies in agreement on the passage of cabins next Tuesday with names adopted by the three presidencies. Okay, so some of you guys, are reading articles that are saying that Fahad is going to get the position, and so am I. And then we're also reading that Fahad isn't going to get the position and of interior. So we don't know, guys and girls. We don't know. We don't live there, so we just have to wait and see. I would be shocked if Sauter and them agreed to put him in, because they, like, once again, they have the numbers not to put him in. So it doesn't matter what the prime minister wants, because if they don't have the votes, he can't get in there, right? Unless Abdul Mahdi uses a red card, an executive order, and just flat out puts him in there. But then all of a sudden you don't have you don't have a government that's full of technocrats. You have a government that has a guy in there that's part of the quota system, and here we go again, right? So we'll see how it all plays out. Okay, I'll be back to this site in a little bit so we can stroll up and see the rest of the articles there. But let's just go through the ones that I have, actually the tabs I have open right now. It says Baghdad protesters demand completion of government reforms. And it's kind of interesting because I did that video a couple of weeks, about a week ago or something like that. And I told you guys that usually after I do a video about the citizens, they usually then go out and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's perfect timing. I don't know what it is. But every time I do a video about the citizens, or at least within 48 hours or 72 hours, they go out and protest. So I don't know what it is. So after I did that video on the citizens, they went out and started protesting. They started protesting the United Nations first, when we saw the articles about that. And now they're protesting the government to complete the reforms and complete the ministerial government, the cabinet government. Okay. And they don't want the same government people. They want the government of technocrats, right? So if Fahad is in there, that is not a technocratic government. That's a government that still has a quota guy, and a guy that's from Maliki Nabadi. Mahdi didn't keep his word, because Mahdi says he has eliminated everyone from Obadi and Maliki's government. So if he keeps Fahad and makes him and puts him in that position, he is lying. He lied to the people. Okay, and and we're gonna talk about the green zone in a minute. And you know what I mean. So if you're going to open that green zone and you keep Fahad in there, the citizens it all depends on what the citizens get, because like I said before, if you keep Fahad but you give the oil revenues to the citizens, and you raise the value, and you free the currency, then that's a different story. And I mean, then the citizens ain't gonna really care. You know what I mean? So if you put Fahad in there just so you can stay alive, but you give the citizens what they're supposed to get, and you return that back to the international stage, then Fahad really doesn't have any power to be corrupt anymore. So you can do it that way. So it's not like Fahad can't get in there, but make sure you do what you're supposed to do for the citizens, okay, and for the country at the same time, okay. Um, so anyways, let's move on from there. So yeah, so they're protesting and about that, and so I don't know it is what it is. They're protesting. No one really, the people don't, Iraq doesn't really care about the citizens, so they don't really care that they're protesting. Okay. They never speak about it either. When they see people protesting, they're just like, whatever, who cares? Okay. So anyways, let's move on. Parliamentary finance reveals the value of Iraq's cash reserves and warns of movements to affect the value of the dinar. Okay, so not sure. Okay, let me see where it says. It says they estimated $60 billion in reserves. So $60 billion in reserves, and that's really really awesome to see that they've built it up under Ali Alak, the central bank governor, because when he took over and when he took over and he was in there, the thing was going down and down and down, and that's because Maliki and them were literally depleting it while he was in there. And then so he started speaking out about it and saying, and the IMF started speaking about it because they went in there and they saw that there was literally like 30 something billion left, and they're like, wow, this thing has shrunk, like 20 billion within like 2 years. And so the IMF started speaking about it and threatening the central bank, and so the central bank had to do some work with it and start building it back up, and that's what they did. Okay, so they build it back up because they limited the dollar, and so they started putting the dollars in the reserves as well. Okay, so and then they did some other things as well. They started selling gold as well. They started selling some of their gold. Remember, every Monday they would sell the gold, and they would have a report on that. So they sold the gold for U.S. dollars, and then they put the dollars in the reserves. So that was another way they would do it as well. Okay, so moving on from there. It says that the bank reserves and liquidity of the country is very sound, and the ability of the Iraqi dinar is strong, and what is rumored otherwise is a disgrace. Okay, so moving on, it says the U.S. Embassy issued a new security alert coinciding with the extension of green opening hours. Okay, so Abdul Mahdi has extended the hours of the green zone. So first it was like, I don't even know, it was like 5 hours. It was like 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And so now he's extended it. Okay, so he's extended the hours of the green zone. I think it's like, I don't know, what it is, 5 to 5 now? There's an article about it. This one doesn't really I don't think this one is clear. It says it says hours after an order issued by Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi early on Sunday ordered the extension of the green zone to the citizens until 5 a.m. So wait a minute. So is it 5 p.m. to 5 a.m.? I don't know. So I think that's what it is. So instead of 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., it's 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. I don't know. Okay, so there is an article about it, and when we go back to look at the articles, when we start strolling up, I'll check it out and see if I can find it, or maybe we can pass it by. Iraq gives the United States the last chance or sued internationally. Now, this is talking about the Jews. Okay, so talking about it says the procrastination by the United States side to restore Jewish supervision of Iraq. Okay, the U.S. forces, when entering Iraq in 2003, seized thousands of documents and documents taken from the bottom layer, destroyed from the secret intelligence building in Baghdad. Okay, so 2,700 documents of the Jewish components of Iraq. Okay, so they want that back, I'm guessing. I'm not sure why we haven't given that back. Maybe there is no place for it yet. Maybe they haven't rebuilt that. I don't know, but they want that figured out and good to go. So let's see here. After the statement of Fahad not to waiver or withdraw, and the president told him go withdraw from interior, move on, let's complete the government, so let's not have chaos in parliament, and he refused to. Okay, and so that's a red flag right there. Okay, so if the president tells you to withdraw, so for the better of your country, and you refuse to, then we know that you're not you're not in support of the country. You're in support of your agenda, Maliki's agenda, Ameri's agenda, and that's not good for the country. Okay, and another thing that was worse was Abdul Mahdi having a meeting and Fahad is in the meeting. Okay, so I mean, what's going on? Like Abdul Mahdi is saying one thing but doing another. I know he's probably cool with Fahad. There's nothing wrong with that part, right? I mean, he knows Fahad. He's cool with Fahad. But the problem is that you said to the public and to everybody else that you are going to remove anything from Maliki and Abadi, but yet you're sticking with this man, and that many have called corrupt and works with the hands of Maliki and the corrupt and the Iranian, so an Iranian back. So it's just really interesting that Abdul Mahdi would put himself in this situation. Of course, and his life has been, and Abdul Mahdi's life has been threatened if he doesn't pick this guy as well. So I mean, that's a red flag right there. I mean, there's so many red flags about this man. Yet, Abdul Mahdi seems like he can't remove himself from this man. So it's pretty weird. Um, I think this article is talking about. Let me see. It talks about Maliki and blah 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 blah, but it says the abandoning of the members of the building block led by Maliki and the head of coalition, Amiri, and the leader of the Fahad Alliance. Okay, so they're basically saying that they're abandoning these people. Okay, they're abandoning them. They are corrupt. Okay, they're trying to abandon them and make sure that that this guy doesn't get in. So, and like I said before, if he gets in, we better see the lifting of the value, the freeing of the value, and the distribution of oil to the citizens, revenue to citizens, to herbal agreement. We need to see all of that. Article 140, everything. We need to see all of that if this guy gets in, because that's the only way that's going to stop his corruption, right? And Maliki them corruption is if they let him in, but they open everything else up, okay, at the same time. But if they get him in and they don't do none of that, we could be in big trouble, okay? Now we would need, we don't have any power. We're human beings. It would take God. It literally will take God to for us to see something happen. Okay, and I think regardless, it is going to take God to see it happen regardless. So, you know what I mean. But I think people would lose hope if this guy got in. Let's just say that. I think a lot of people would sell their currency if this guy got in. That's what I'm going to say, right? I can already see it now. I can already see it now. If this guy gets in and the citizens don't get their oil revenues, if we don't see Article 140 in Baghdad in Parliament, if we don't see the oil and gas law completion and the revaluation of the lifting of the value, and this guy is in, and none of that happens, people are going to sell quickly. They're going to sell because this guy. They know what this guy represents. They know he gives power to those people who run the government, those 9 people. And if he doesn't get in, those 9 people are out, right? So he is one of those people that run the government. And so if he gets in, then people are going to say, well, that's what do we do now, right? It's the same old, same old. Okay, they got one of their guys in. One of the 9 people got in, and now here comes the chaos, because that's exactly what would happen. Okay, in my opinion, they would then start going after everybody. In my opinion, because they need to create the chaos to keep from having Iraq having a stability, security and stability. They need to create chaos. So if they got Fahad in, then it's time to create the chaos that keeps the central bank from having that stability and security. Okay, and then they'll probably go after Ali Alak as well. He might be gone regardless, but they might go after him to in a way that delays everything. Maybe, you know what I mean, go further. Okay, they might go after him, not to like remove him immediately, but remove him over time, where there's fights and lawsuits and things like that, where it delays everything as well with stability and security. Okay, so that's exactly what they're gonna do. I already know what they're gonna do. Some of them probably listening to you right now, probably thinking, how does this guy over here in America knows exactly what we're doing? Yeah, I know exactly what they're gonna do. So anyways, we'll see. We'll see if he gets in or not. And we'll see what what citizens' reaction is if he gets in, okay? Because if the citizens are really serious, the citizens would storm the green zone that is wide open and deal with Fahad in a matter that literally scares the crap out of everybody else, right? So we'll see how that plays out. Okay, so parliamentary planning determined to open the file of land distribution. Okay, so we know that they have the file for distribution of oil revenues to the citizens. Now they're talking about land distribution to the citizens. So you know what I mean? Like, and once again, it's the Ministry of Planning. Okay, so Ministry of Planning at the end here again. They're right in the thick of things, trying to crunch the numbers, do the land, do the oil, all this stuff coming from the Ministry of Planning. Okay, so it tends to open the land distribution file up to the citizens after Abdul Mahdi promised this. Okay, so he promised it, and he says, indicating that the issue needs time, money, and suitable land and close to the cities. Okay, all right, so let's see here. Says promise to distribute land to the citizens where it is necessary to indicate which segments are due first and determine their numbers. He pointed out that the committee will open the land file after the completion of the formation of the ministerial cabinet in order to ensure that the beneficiaries of the plots of residual land okay, or resident. Actually, it's residential. I'm trying to say a word that doesn't even make sense. Okay, I'm thinking I'm right, and I look back at it. Wait a minute, that says residential. Okay, so residential land. What was I trying to say? I think I was trying to say like residual income, and I was trying to say residual land. It doesn't make any sense. So residual, it's residential land. Okay, so they're gonna look at it after the formation of the government. Okay, now do you think Fahad and Maliki and the 9 people who are running the parliament right now are going to distribute land to the citizens? You think they're going to distribute oil revenues to the citizens? They haven't done it since 2003 with those guys running the government. So you think they're just going to say, "Oh yeah, we're just going to distribute land to the citizens, distribute oil to the citizens"? We haven't done it. Maliki lied about herbal agreement and he backtracked it out of it when he agreed on it. So yeah, just we're just gonna do it now, and we just feel sorry. Yeah, right. When you're corrupt and you're demonic and you're evil, you don't care about the citizens. You actually despise the citizens. You hate the citizens, right? And you want to keep them down because if they stay down, you stay up. Okay, and that's how they think. They think that if the citizens stay poor, then they stay up. The same thing as the 1%, right? The 1% knows that if the 99% get wealth, then they are now threatened. Okay, so that's why they want you working 9 to 5 jobs, 40+ hours a week, because you're no threat to them when you do that. Okay, you're no threat to the 1% but when you create your own job and you create your own employment, your own business, that's when you become a threat to the 1%. That they don't like those type of people, and that's why they try to target those type of people and bring them on their side. Okay, this is why when you're successful on YouTube, you start seeing these YouTube vloggers and these YouTube people with millions of subscribers. They start throwing up the Baphomet goat sign. They start throwing up demonic symbols in their vlogs. Why? Because they were forced to join the elite side. They were forced to join the sacred society, right? Or they would be destroyed, right? Because they don't want people having that type of following to do their own thing. Okay, there are some people out there with a million followers and subscribers and stuff that are doing their own thing, but they're being watched carefully. Okay, and by the elites. Okay, because they have to be watched carefully. Okay, if they're not on the side of the elites, if they haven't taken the oath of Baphomet, they are being watched heavily. Okay. And you can see, I know the last video I just posted with Benny's going through that right now. When Benny makes a video and stuff, he gets thousands of views, right? And so he's being attacked, right? When my other channel started growing fast, what happened? I was immediately attacked from all sides, right? And that's what happens, right? On YouTube, not just YouTube, but in Hollywood and government and stuff. When you start to rise and you don't want to be on the side of evil, you're going to be attacked. And your name is going to be destroyed. But guess what? We have a God, we have a living God that will protect us and say, go through the storm. It's going to just make you stronger. That's it. And guess what? The people I have designed for you, the people who are following you, they're following you because of me. So all you have to do is stick to what you're doing. That is working. And that's why they're following you, because I've anointed you that way. And you go through the storm. They're going to talk about you. They're going to make up stuff about you. They're going to put it all over the internet. They're going to say all this stuff about you. But if you just go through the storm, the people that are behind you that I have placed are still going to be behind you. And because you went through the storm, I'm going to bless you even more. And so that's exactly what happens, right? So when I went through it, what Benny's going through now, same thing what Crypto went through. Remember Crypto Zero, the guy I used to post? He went through the same thing. And now he's at 100 and something thousand subscribers, right? So everybody go on YouTube, and not just YouTube, but Hollywood and governments go through this thing, okay? Where if you don't pick the side of the evil, you're going to get hit from all sides. If you pick the side of evil, they will start giving you gifts. They will start giving you stuff. You will be promoted higher. You'll become what's the guy's name? PewDiePie and all these satanic vloggers and YouTubers, right? You become them, right? And so they'll start gifting you stuff. You'll have big promotions. You'll have big endorsement deals and things like that if you join their side, okay? But if you don't join their side, then they're going to mess with you. They're going to destroy your name because they don't want you to grow. They'll mess with you. They'll hack your YouTube channels and mess with your algorithm so you don't grow, so people don't get your notifications. This is what they do. And so we know that. And you guys know that because you've seen your favorite YouTuber go through it. Okay? And it might not just be me. Might be Benny. Might be somebody else. Right, I've seen many of my favorite YouTubers go through it. They have mental, it messes with their mind. They have depression and all types of stuff. A lot of YouTubers deal with depression because of that problem, because the elites are pressuring them to join them and take the oath of Baphomet. This is something that's not being talked about by many of the YouTubers, but this is what happens on YouTube. Okay, once you hit a certain level, you have to make that decision, right? And so it's the same thing in politics. When you start to rise in politics, you have the same thing. You have to make that decision if you're going to be on the side of Maliki or you're going to be on the side of the people, okay? And also in this article here, they talk about that right here. They said that Sauter needs to make a decision. Is he really for the people or if he's for the government? Okay, and we're gonna find out, right? Because Sauter has the numbers to keep Fayed out of that position. But if he's really for the government and for the evil, he'll allow Fayed to sneak in there, and he'll make an excuse on why he got in. But if he's really for the people, Fayed has no shot of getting in because they have the numbers to keep him out. Okay, so we'll find out. We'll find out, and so will the citizens. And I want to see what the citizens actually do about it if Fayed gets in. Okay, so we'll just see what happens from there, and you guys can watch and see with me, and we'll see how it all plays out. Okay, so let's just quickly go through the rest of this and wrap it up. Iraqi president renounces his British citizenship. Now we know that he has to do that. You can't be a dual citizenship to and be and be in parliament. Okay, at that position, at that high position, you might be able to do it in the lower positions, but for a president, prime minister, and speaker of the house, you have to have only one citizenship, and that's Iraq. You have to be loyal to Iraq. You can't have dual citizenships nowhere else. Okay, so that's part of their constitution as well. Authorization of Food Hassani or whatever his name is to sign the British loan agreement. Okay, cool. And then he's the Minister of Finance, by the way. Okay, Hakeem and the Speaker talking about the completion of the ministerial cabinet for Tuesday. Now, they might get together again on Monday night and make sure they have the right names and then go forward with that. And let's see what happens on Tuesday. Okay, it says Sauter's group presents the solution to the crisis of the vacant ministers. Okay, we already talked about this the other day, right? Their solution is those two military members, right? Those two military members that absolutely know how to do the job of defense minister and interior minister. Those are two guys that actually know how to do the job, right? And so those two should be the people that get the job, not Fayed and somebody else that don't know how to do the job of interior and defense. But we'll see. It says here, including the cancellation of the agreement, source reveals that will be included in the law to remove foreign troops from Iraq. We talked about that the other day as well. Okay, so here's the green zone here. Let's see what the hours are. Okay, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. So I was correct. Okay, so the green zone has been extended from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Okay, so we're looking for, I think they're saying sometime next week, if everything goes well, then they will open it up 24 hours. Okay, so the green zone will be open 24 hours a day. All right. Now that doesn't mean Maliki's house, villa, and all the these guys' villas are heavily gated with armed men. So not like the citizens are going to like just come there and like with 20 of them or 30 people, even 100 people, and say what's up. You know what I mean? Like they would need millions of people to be able to get to Maliki in them, right? Because they're even though the green zone is open, their villas, their mansions, and their villas are heavily guarded with armed forces and gates and stuff like that. So you would need a lot of people to get through, okay? Because the first 1,000 people would be shot dead. So you would need like 100,000 people to get in, right, to overtake the armed forces, because those people are going to have guns and lots of weapons. Okay, so if you're just coming in there with sticks and rocks, you're in big trouble. So a lot of them are going to die before they can even get through. You know what I mean? So they would need like 100,000 people just to get in there and get Maliki. So you know what I mean? But if they, give them if they give them the land, if they give them the oil, if they raise the value, guess what they can do? They can then go online and purchase weapons online, get those weapons, you know what I mean? And then it's a fair deal. And that's why they don't want, Maliki and them don't want to give these people their wealth, because that's exactly what they would do to them, right? They would buy guns online, and they would buy guns from Iran and all the border countries. They would get guns because they have money now, and they would sneak guns in, and they would go after Maliki and these guys in the green zone. That's why they don't want them to have wealth. Mahdi on the Japanese side to establish a joint reconstruction fund. Okay. And the Speaker of the House went to Saudi Arabia. All right. Let's come up here. Alawi calls on Emir of Kuwait to form a high committee to follow up the results of the conference to support Iraq. So Alawi's still in Kuwait, I guess. Bard reveals options in the absence of passing the whites. Okay. Basically, instead of, and all their focus is on is Fayed. The rest of the guys, they're not even focused on the rest of the guys. Everything's about Fayed. There's still 8 ministers that need to be passed. but everything is about Fayed because he's one of those 9 people that Abadi says that runs the parliament, and that's why we figured it out. We figured out why he's so important because he's one of those 9 people. And so here's a meeting with Fayed. Fayed is sitting right there. Okay, so he's in a meeting of National Security Council meeting with Abdul Mahdi. This guy should not be in there, but he's in there. Okay, so is he going to get the position of Interior? We'll see. We shall see. But he's in meetings, which he should not be in those meetings. So I don't know. Okay, parliamentary finance reveals a date of approval of the budget. Yeah, they're saying that the budget is going to be approved the first 3 months of 2019. That's what they're saying. So whatever. I wouldn't approve the budget. Well, you can approve. This is what they're saying as well. They're saying that even if the budget is delayed, the budget law can still be approved. Okay, so they can still approve the budget law even if the budget isn't approved to be open, right? Because they don't open these budgets anyways, right? They approve them and then they just leave them alone. They can't really open them on a program rate, right? They give you the numbers and all that good stuff, and what the deficit would be for the year if the oil dropped and blah 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 blah. But they can't open the budget, on a program rate. Let's see here. Leading the call reveals the ministries are going so past. Okay, I guess they're talking about Sauder again. Sauder talking about the government. Okay. This is about railroad projects and stuff like that, so we don't really care about that. I mean, that's for the citizens. And okay, Miss Jeannie. I sound like a little. I sound like a little like a elementary school kid there. Miss Jeannie, I'm tired of doing your homework. Okay, so Miss Jeannie Hennis, I don't know. It's going to be the new SRSG for Iraq and head of the United Nations AMI. Is she taking the place of Cubic, Mr. Cubic? Okay, maybe she is. Maybe, and they don't have a picture of her, so maybe she's taking the place of Cubic. Well, they put a female in there. Okay. Okay, and there's the arrival of the Speaker of the House to Saudi Arabia. All right, I'm not sure they're going to talk about the journalists and what happened with that. I think he's just going to talk about energy, of course. They're going to talk about energy. They're going to talk about oil. They're going to talk about the Middle East and things, and the formation of the government and things like that. All right, so that's 32 minutes, man. I only thought I was going to come up here for 20 minutes, but I had to really break that down about what's going on behind the scenes. On YouTube, governments and things like that in Hollywood, because a lot of you guys don't know anything about that. You see people that are going through a whole bunch of stuff. They tell you that they're depressed and they're going through depression, and you don't know why. You like, man, this guy has all these views and all this money. What was going on with them? And I just broke it down to you why they're like that. Why Fuzi2 went through all that depression and he still goes through it now. Why all these people on YouTube are having mental disorders and mental problems. Why Hollywood is going through that. It's because of what I talked about, what I broke down. Okay. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's not just all about Iraq and Iraq government, but sometimes I want to throw that other stuff in because it's just Eyes Open Media. On the other channel, I'm not going to talk about that type of stuff. I'm just going to keep it to Iraq. But this is Eyes Open Media, so we want to do more than just Iraq. We want to give you everything, right? So anyways, that's it. Talk to you guys later. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out. And I keep thinking today is like Monday or Tuesday, but it's actually Sunday. So I need to get my mind right. Because I keep thinking today's like Monday or Tuesday, but it's actually Sunday, so I need to get my mind right. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out. Bye.